Hey, kia ora everyone, quick update on some LEGO Spider-Man related news, though still considered to be set rumors and not necessarily set confirmations. So as always with things like leaks and rumors here like this, take everything said here with a grain of salt. Things are subject to change at any given time. Instagram user Fateful_04 has shared some info on some upcoming sets. They appear to be a pretty reliable source, enough for people like brickfanatics to cover the news at the very least. Links will be in the description below. The first news I'll cover here is related to Oscorp Tower, which we have previously talked about on the channel already, and then we'll talk about the Peter Parker apartment set, which I didn't know about until just recently. There are timestamps down below for all those who want to jump around. If you enjoyed this video, liking and subscribing here does help to support this channel for future videos. What we already know about Oscorp Tower are the base technicals. Set 76324 Oscorp Tower releases on August 1st, 2025, contains 808 pieces in total and 8 minifigures. The price is said to be 130 USD before tax, which is currently 230 NZD. Rough. For comparison real quick, sets like the No Way Home Final Battle set, which released in 2023 I think, contains 900 pieces in total with 9 minifigures, and that retails for 110 USD before tax and 180 NZD. So what are we doing here with this Oscorp Tower set exactly? Is it one of those sets like the Legend of Zelda set where LEGO know the consumer will cave in and just buy it regardless? They can just charge whatever they want? I'll have to wait and see, really. Build-wise, there's still no news unfortunately, but you'll hear for the minifigures of course. We said last time that there were 8 figures included, 4 heroes and 4 villains. Today we may have some confirmation on those inclusions. The set here is said to include Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, and Gwen Stacy. As for your villain inclusions, Green Goblin, Venom, Kraven the Hunter, and Norman Osborn. An interesting and at the same time weird list of figures. I don't really know where to begin here. I said in the reveal video I was interested in seeing what the distinction for hero and villain could be, and I figured it would be really weird. I really wanted to see scientists here for this building because we don't have anything really, and unfortunately it doesn't seem like we will get anything besides the inclusions of Norman and a Gwen Stacy figure, which is pretty cool, but an Otto Octavius or a Kirk Connors would have been amazing to see here too. But bearing in mind those figures aren't the kind of figures to appeal towards kids and the younger demographic who the set is likely trying to be a bit more targeted towards. And finally, a brand new Norman Osborn figure though. The last time we got one was a Willem Dafoe from the very outdated but very nostalgic Spider-Man 1 movie sets. He was last seen in the massively Daily Bugle set as well as a sticker. That's for like a newer design. It'll be interesting to see how he appears in minifig form, if he remains the same as how he looked in that sticker or not. I think it's interesting that the set here has listed Miles and Gwen Stacy, as well as Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen. Now Miles is likely going to be the same one that we've been getting for some years now, but just recently they did release that uber expensive Spider-Verse set, which does include a Miles Morales head and hairpiece. They really do like reusing stuff, so I actually think it'd be really cool to see a civilian version of Miles pairing up with the civilian version of Gwen here, and that also makes more sense to me, having 2 civilians and 2 heroes. I'm not necessarily expecting it, but I'll be crossing my fingers because I think that would be preferred. I'm not expecting Spider-Man to appear any differently either compared to previous figures, but could you imagine getting something new? That'd be amazing. As for the rest of those villains there, yeah, Green Goblin is a pretty obvious inclusion. It is a little bothersome to me though that 2 of these minifigure slots have been dedicated to Norman and Green Goblin, but hopefully the Green Goblin figure is a fresh new design. I adore that one from the Bridge set. It's hands down the best Green Goblin figure that they have ever made. I'm not personally a fan of the darker, scarier look that they've been doing recently. I like the weird campy 60s comic style more so. The inclusion of Venom is kind of silly. Venom is just very overused now. He's been in tons of sets, but that's because Venom is still today a very popular character with kids, so the inclusion there is just for that target demographic. Kraven is probably the most exciting figure inclusion yet. I don't even really mind that he doesn't fit in with the aesthetic or a style of an Oscorp building. People have been asking for a Kraven remake for years now, only ever released once before in 2016 with that amazing Bridge set, again with the Green Goblin figure, one of the best Marvel sets that they've ever released to date. It's about time that people who missed out on that have the chance to grab some of those figures again. I'm expecting a lot here with this Kraven. They could do so much with a new figure and I'm excited to see what they come up with. I wouldn't say that I'm overall stunned with the news here, but I do feel pretty satisfied, I think, with that selection. I think the villains sound a lot more appealing to me than the heroes do. It's great that people will finally be able to get a Green Goblin and a Kraven together again, and I'm really hoping that those figures are all brand new and not just rehashes from other sets. And then we have some news on a set that I did not know about, but commenters on my previous videos did point this out to me. Set 76317 Peter Parker's Apartment, also releasing on August 1st, just like the Oscorp Tower set. 394 pieces in total with 4 minifigures, retailing for $50 USD before tax, which converts to that $90 NZD range for us here. It's about the same numbers wise for everything, piece count, price point, and minifigures as the recently released Spider-Verse set. So with all that in mind, I'm expecting this to be a decent to cool looking set. It'll be very small and very expensive. The minifigures currently listed appear to be Spider-Man, sure, MJ, Hobgoblin, and Anti-Venom. Interesting stuff. First off, a Peter Parker apartment set sounds great, honestly, and really well targeted towards someone like myself. The closest thing that we have is the apartment inclusion with the Sanctum set from the Infinity War set, released in 2018, another one of my all-time favorite Marvel sets. The apartment was a very small inclusion on top of a pizza joint, so it was just 2 simple rooms, nothing too extensive there. For 394 pieces, I'm kinda thinking it'll be basic again. Something like the Up House features almost 200 more parts, so it can't really be anything too huge. I think I've said in previous videos, and I've seen other people echo this thought too, I think LEGO want to start conjoining more sets together, so the apartment building might connect onto that Spider-Verse set, either onto the side or on top, and that would be really cool, but also very annoying because I thought I was going to be able to skip that Spider-Verse set entirely, but I'm going to want that set if the apartment is supposed to connect onto it properly. And that's all provided that I'm right, of course, and that they are supposed to link together. They might not, in which case I don't need that Spider-Verse set. And again, with news that we're getting an Oscorp Tower and an apartment set, those are Spider-Man set ideas that are just targeted towards me, and I wonder why they're being released like this because I don't think they're tying into anything. There is that new Disney Plus TV show that's just come out, and maybe that's what these are supposed to tie into, like how all of the X-Men sets were recently targeted as X-Men 97 sets, not just specifically X-Men comic sets. That might change a couple of minds about these releases. The figures would definitely appear a lot differently than what we're expecting. But speaking of figures, Spider-Man there is pretty obvious, and I hope he features a Peter Parker head and hairpiece or something because it feels insane to have his house but not Peter. A Mary Jane inclusion has been a long time coming. She was only ever released as a comics figure in one set more than a decade ago now, and that figure has become very outdated for her design. I cannot wait to see what they do here. I am praying for a great bright new red hairpiece that ideally isn't just a common piece used in other sets. I said the exact same thing about Jean for the X-Mansion. I wanted something really spectacular. That figure unfortunately does not use something spectacular. It's a very boring hairpiece, so I've been burnt on this idea before. Hobgoblin's a great win for those who missed that amazing Ghost Rider set from years ago. I'm pretty sure it's the one time he ever appeared in a set, and it's a really great figure, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do here. And Anti-Venom is really cool too because it almost makes that mech set that just released irrelevant. It is a cheaper way to get Anti-Venom specifically, sure, but an apartment set sounds more appealing to me, and almost everyone I've seen on the internet talk about this mech has proclaimed that they're only buying the mechs for the minifigures anyway, so why not save that $30 NZD and put it towards this one instead. These both sound really appealing, and they almost sound too good to be true. We have entered a new age with LEGO prices and all though, so as always, you gotta skip the release window and just wait for sales. And on that note, I don't know what it's like worldwide, but here in NZ, every single set goes to 25% off, sometimes even 30% off sales within the first 2 months of their release. It's nuts! And that's all from me today. Liking this video here and subscribing to the channel does help to support more videos like this one in the future. Thanks for watching everyone, ka kite anō, see you all next time.